Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu announcing that 5 ministers are joining his government from the Benny Gantz's party.
אזרחי ישראל, אני בא עכשיו מאוגדה 98. זוהי אחת מאוגדות המחץ של צבא ההגנה לישראל.
Netanyahu says he's coming now from visiting his soldiers.
בכביש שמוליך לבסיס,
on the road that is leading to the base, I see a long queue line of cars, not on the road,
על שטח ההפרדה.
on the spot in between the cars that were parked there
על ידי המילואימניקים,
by the reservists.
שרבים מהם בכלל לא נקראו.
Many of them were not even called in. They voluntarily, on their own, arrived there.
130% גיוס.
130% of drafting of reservists who arrived, according to the officers there. I entered the base,
לקרון הפיקוד,
to the command room.
קטן, צפוף, מאובזר עם
Tiny, crowded,
מסכים של מפות וטצות של הרצועה.
with maps and screens illustrating the Gaza Strip.
פגשתי שם מפקד אוגדה.
I met there one of the commanders.
מפקד האוגדה. אש בעיניים.
There's fire in their eyes, in his eyes. Cool-headed,
ואש הקרב יחדיו.
but the fire of fight alongside it. He and his officers were sitting there and they told me what they've been through. They came to the base, armed themselves and went out, just went out immediately. Some of them in their own private cars. They arrived in the communities along the border. Their comrades got killed, but they kept on fighting. Other comrades killed, but they kept on fighting. They stormed. They fought against the enemy. It's simply stories of heroism that are astonishing, amazing. And officers are sitting there. A chap named Yuval, a commander in reserves, but he lives in Australia and he was on his way to Australia, waiting for his flight in Singapore, his connection flight. He heard about the fighting, he just, U-turned, came back, and now he's fighting. There were people there from the Golan Heights, from Nesiana, from Herzliya, from all over the country, just around this tiny table. And I hear the commander with, again, this fire in his eyes, cool-headed, but with the spirit of fight. I listen to him and I hear him. He tells me, Prime Minister, we can do it. We are ready. I will not elaborate further. And then I ask one of the guys there, one of them from the Golan Heights, what do you say? Prime Minister, we must fight. He tells me. And eliminate them. What do you think? What do you think? I ask all of them. There was another top commander sitting there. Her name is Fanny. Female commander, she tells me, I am Fanny, I'm the mother of 4 children, and I'm saying, so for the sake of my children living here in this country, we must fight back. I don't remember this spirit of fight, this determination, and I've been through battles. Even during the Yom Kippur, there was. But I don't remember this kind of fire, boiling desire to fight. From the top commanders to the last soldier, through the supporting forces to the drivers, I don't remember anything like that. This is the unique spirit
הרוח הזאת
we have
מלכדת
of
אותנו
this spirit unites
לאגרוף
us
ברזל,
to an iron
וזהו
fist.
האגרוף
And this
שינפץ
is
את
the
החמאס
fist that will
לרסיסים.
shatter Hamas into tiny bits.
אחדות העם
The unity of the people,
היא מכפיל כוח.
it's
ממשלת
doubling
החירום
our
שאנחנו
strength.
מקימים היום, מתוך
With
אחריות
the
לאומית,
unity emergency government we're forming
מעבירה
today,
מסר של כוח עצום.
and it too is
גם כלפי
sending
חוץ,
this ripple effect of
וגם
great
כלפי
strength,
פנים.
of power towards
כלפי פנים,
outside and inside,
כי כולנו
domestically.
עומדים במערכה הזאת
Inwards,
יחד,
because we're all of us in it together,
באחווה
standing
פנימית.
united with genuine brotherhood and camaraderie.
לא רק באחווה, בערבות ההדדית, שאנחנו אומרים כל ישראל ערבים זה
When we're
לזה.
saying
זה הביטוי החזק
all
ביותר
of
שאני
Israel,
זוכר.
our siblings,
לאמירה
brothers and
הזאת.
sisters, this is the strongest demonstration we've seen, or I remember,
אנחנו
to
מחבקים
this
בעומק
statement.
ליבנו
We embrace, we hug with all
את
of our
המשפחות
being, with
שאיבדו
all
את
of our
יקיריהן.
hearts, the families who've lost their dearests,
משפחות החללים ומשפחות הנופלים
The
והנרצחים,
families
וכמובן
of the murdered,
גם את משפחות חטופים.
and of course the families of those who are being held hostage, kidnapped.
הכאב כל כך
The
צורב,
pain is so deep
שנראה לפעמים שהוא
that sometimes it seems
כבד מנשוא,
just
והיגון מאוד
too much to bear.
כבד.
The grief, the sorrow is just
הוא מורגש בכל
so
בית.
heavy, and we feel it in every home here in Israel.
לכל המשפחות אנחנו שולחים
All the
חיבוק
families,
אוהב
we are
ותומך.
sending a warm, embracing,
מעומק
loving hug from
אני
the
מקבל עדכונים שוטפים
depth of our hearts.
מאחראי שמיניתי על נושא
I
החטופים,
am
תת-אלוף במילואים
being
גל הירש.
updated constantly by
שעומד
Gal
בקשר
Hirsch that
רצוף
I've
עם בני המשפחות,
nominated
צריך לאתר
to
אותם. אנחנו עדיין עובדים על איתור.
head this mission. We need to locate them first. We have yet
אנחנו
to do
מקבלים
so.
סיוע
We
מחוץ
need
לארץ.
to finish
לזהות
identifying
גופות,
all of them.
לדעת מי חי,
We
מי
are
מת, מי חטוף.
receiving foreign aid to
לא נרפה מן
identify
המאמץ
bodies,
הזה.
to understand who was murdered, who was kidnapped. We will
והניסיון
not let
להשיב
go
אותם
of
הביתה.
the bid to get them all
בד
back,
בבד אנחנו
bring them all
ממוקדים
home.
באותה
Alongside
נחישות
that, we are
כבירה
united
אל מול
with this
האויב הנתעב
immense
והרצחני
determination
הזה.
against this vile, murderous enemy.
וכמו יובל,
And like Yuval,
לוחמינו הנפלאים בסדיר
Our-
ובמילואים,
our
מתייצבים בהמונים
amazing
לדגל,
fighters
ורבים מהם
are
מגיעים
just
באמת מחוץ לארץ במטוסים
recruiting
מלאים,
themselves, so many of them arriving from abroad and
כי הם
packed
מבינים-
airplanes because they understand.
מבינים שזהו רגע
They
של
understand
אמת.
that this is the moment of truth,
זוהי באמת מלחמה
is
על
really
הבית.
a war over our
והיא חייבת
homeland.
להסתיים בדבר
And it
אחד,
must end with one thing and one thing
בניצחון
only:
מוחלט,
absolute victory.
ובריסוק וחיסול החמאס,
Crashing,
Hamas,
shattering
shehu
the Hamas, which is ISIS.
זהו מסר
This is a message.
שהוא לא תעמולתי, הוא לא
It's not
הסברתי, זה פשוט אמת
propaganda,
יצוקה.
it's not
חמאס זה דאעש.
PR, it's not communication. Hamas is Daesh, this is it.
והעולם שהיה
Hamas
מזועזע
is ISIS, that is.
מדאעש ומאל-קאעידה,
And the world, it was shocked by
11
ISIS and Al-Qaeda in the aftermath of 9/11.
הוא יצר קואליציה בינלאומית,
The international community created an international
לחסל את
coalition
הנגע
to
הזה.
dismantle
אף אחד לא אמר,
this
בוא נלך
enemy. No one
להיפגש עם
said, well, you know what,
דאעש או
let's sit
אל-קאעידה.
down with
אחד
ISIS
לא אמר, בוא
representatives or
ניתן
Al
להם
Qaeda
נוכחות
representatives.
בארצנו.
Let's
ולכן
give
אמרתי
them some
היום,
presence or room in our
אין
countries. And
נציגות.
this is why I said, no, there is
לא
no
נפגשים
such representation. We will not be meeting with them. No.
ואם יש מדינות
And if there
שמקיימות
are
נוכחות שלהם,
countries that are
יסלקו אותם.
facilitating any
להקיא
presence
אותם
of them, then they should throw them away.
ממדינות העולם. להקיא אותם.
Should
ומי
be
שלא עושה את זה,
should be
להטיל עליו
thrown out
סנקציות.
from all countries, and whoever will
זהו
not be
המסר
doing
של
it
הכוח כלפי
should be
חוץ,
sanctioned.
העמידה המשותפת,
This is a message of strength,
שמוקרנת מכאן, כאן, מהעולם הזה של
strength that is
של הנהגת המדינה,
projected from here, from the
ושל העם.
leadership of the country and of the
מלמדת את
people,
דורשי רעתנו שאין
and
בתוכנו
it
פירוד,
will teach
אין
all
בתוכנו
those
פגיעים,
who
אין בתוכנו
wish
חולשה.
to harm us that
בדיוק
we are not divided, we are
כולנו, בלי
not.
יוצא מן הכלל, מודרכים
We are all on the same page. We're all united. We're all guided by
למחוץ את
one
הרשע.
mission to crash evil, to crash cruelty, to dismantle zealousness, to crash Hamas, to crash ISIS, to crash Hamas. The entire world was witnessing those horrendous atrocities that those vile murderers committed. Those same, quote-unquote, jihad fighters and Hamas. Horrors that they've committed in our towns, in our homes, and the world now understands the need to kill this monstrous, barbaric movement. Since the very beginning of this war, I am in constant communication with U.S. President Joe Biden and other leaders of the UK, of Germany, of France, and many, many others. I've met this morning with the U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. By the way, made a heartfelt speech, moving speech. I'm sure that you've heard the speeches, plural, of the American President Biden, and you can see the depth of his identification with our struggle, with our battle, which is their own as well. Tomorrow I'll meet with the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin. We have managed to rally support, aid for the state of Israel in words and in action, immense support, and this support will accompany us throughout this war. We're talking about military aid, ammunition. We've agreed with President Biden over. Meanwhile, I also asked that if we will need less heavy arms than in this long list. If this is what we need, for example, weapons for those emergency units underground. So the communities themselves in the West Bank, elsewhere, there will be protection, defense across the country, across the state of Israel, everywhere. Members of Parliament, people of Israel. Our nation, one of the most ancient people on the planet, and during the thousands of years of existence, we've confronted many tests, many challenges. We've known pain, we've known agony, we've known sorrow, perhaps more than any other nation. But we have never surrendered, never given up. Our willpower and our resilience are parallel to the nation of Israel. In this test, in this challenge, we will stand as well, even though it is even too hard to bear. Saturday morning will be engraved in the history books as a dark day for all people, and for us, it is the most agonizing, horrific day since the Holocaust, first and foremost because of the atrocities that remind us all the same atrocities way back when. And yes, also because of the pain that is shared for the entire community, the entire among all people. I have not met not a single person that does not know someone who has a family member of someone who was murdered or was kidnapped or is missing. And I want to tell you that I see it in my close circles. My nephew of one of my advisors was kidnapped into the Gaza Strip. Yaakov, may he rest in peace. It was a beloved driver of us. Powers at the Prime Minister's office was and accompanied my family, his kids and mine,
גדלו יחד,
grew up together,
שיחקו יחד.
played together.
הילד שלו, יונתן,
His child, Jonathan,
שהוא קרא על שמו של אחי יוני,
it was named after my brother, Yoni,
הוא בין הנרצחים,
among those who were murdered.
ואין נחמה.
There is no comfort here.
או הבן של יעקב
Or the son
נאמן,
of
זיכרונו לברכה,
Yaakov Ne'eman, may his memory be a
Dr.
blessing.
Eitan Ne'eman.
Dr. Eitan Ne'eman,
רופא ילדים, אב לשבעה,
pediatrician,
נרצח
father
גם
of 7, was murdered as well.
הוא. אני זוכר
I remember
איך יעקב היה מציג
Yaakov was used to present him
באיזו
to
גאווה,
me,
באיזו
such
אהבה.
pride and such love.
אז לפחות הסבל הנורא הזה נחסך מיעקב,
So
ועד לפני ימים אחדים,
this horrific pain,
מידיעה אישית,
and I'm telling you personally that the worst pain of parents who are burying their children,
אני כבר לא אומר את זה.
I'm not even saying that
אני כבר לא
anymore.
אומר את זה.
I'm not saying that anymore.
יש דרגות סבל,
There are levels of grief, of pain in this hell.
ילדים
Children
שלמול עיניהם רוצחים את הוריהם,
who in front of their faces, their parents were murdered, and parents, their kids were murdered in front of their eyes, and youngsters were all brought into a small room and burned alive, and the beheadings and the rapes and the killings,
הזוועות.
the horrors.
אחיי ואחיותיי,
My brothers, my sisters,
הברירה שלפנינו
the choice we are facing,
חדה וברורה,
clear cut,
טוב או רוע,
good or evil, life
או מוות,
or death,
אור או חושך.
light or darkness.
ב-75 שנות עצמאותנו,
In our 75 years of independence, we have turned this beautiful country of ours to a beacon of progress
ביד
and
אחת
hope.
בנינו את ארצנו,
One-
ביד השנייה הכנענו את
One
אויבינו.
hand, we've built our countries, on the one hand, we've eliminated our enemies, and this is what we will do this
אור
time as
החיים
well.
יגבר על אפלת המוות,
The
והאנושיות
power of life will
תגבר על
triumph,
הקנאות. זה חשוב
death,
לעתיד האנושות.
and zealousness will be eliminated. It's important for the sake of humanity. Members of Parliament, I said a minute ago that there are horrors
שמזכירות את ימי
that are
השואה,
reminiscing of the Holocaust days, but
אבל איננו נמצאים בגטו ורשה.
we are not the Warsaw
אנחנו
Ghetto.
נטועים עמוק
We are
באדמת
deep
המולדת,
rooted
אדמת
in
ישראל,
homeland, the land of Israel,
אבל לקחי גטו ורשה
but the lessons of the Warsaw Ghetto 80 years ago
חקוקים בזיכרון
are
הלאומי שלנו.
engraved in our national consciousness.
לנוכח הצורר שביקש
Facing the
להשמיד,
enemy,
להרוג ולאבד
sought
שני
to
ארגוני מחתרת יהודים,
to kill
אחד של
two
השמאל ואחד של הימין,
underground Jewish organizations, one of the left, one of the right,
ברגע האמת.
did not
כל אחד מהם מתעקש לפעול
were not wise
בנפרד.
enough to join forces. Each and every one of
הסוף
them
ידוע.
decided
ייתכן
to
שהסוף היה קבוע מראש.
to work separately. It might very well be that the ending was, written in advance, but this is not the way we should have
היום
reached it. Today,
אנחנו עומדים בפני אותו צורר.
we are facing the same
אני
enemy.
תמיד אמרתי, וחזרתי
And I've
ואמרתי,
always said,
כל
and
פעם
I kept on
שהיה
saying,
פיגוע
time and time
טרור,
again, whenever there was a terror attack,
כל פעם שיצא
whenever there was
מעשה רצח,
a murderous
Hamas
act
or
from
מהארגונים
behalf of
האחרים.
Hamas or any other
אמרתי
organization, I
שאותו
said that the
רצח של,
same murder of a family
מכונית, או
in a
אוטובוס
car or a
שמפוצץ.
bus
אמרתי,
that is being
המקרה
bombarded.
הפרטי
This
הזה
this specific
מלמד
case,
על המקרה הכללי. לו רק יוכלו,
the
ישמידו
specific
וירצחו כל
is
אחד
teaching us the
ואחד
rule.
מאיתנו.
If they only could, they would eliminate it. They will murder
אז
each and every one of us. So
אותן כוונות,
the
כמו
intentions, the same intentions,
אבל היום,
like the Nazis. But today,
מול הצורר,
facing the enemy,
כשהציווי הקדום,
when the
זכור את אשר
ancient
עשה לך עמלק,
the ancient
מהדהד באוזנינו,
saying, remember what Amalek did to you. Today we are reuniting our forces. We're reuniting our forces to make sure Israel will last forever. We have a strong state. We have a strong government. We have a strong nation with strong people. We have a strong army with this consciousness of mission and on the front lines and the home front. We have deep belief, faith in the path. We will fight in those murderous animals. We will beat them. We will eliminate them. And when time comes, we will rebuild our communities that were shattered. We will rebuild the border communities along the Gaza border, and we will bring it back to being a prosperous piece of land. I ask every single one of you to send a message of strength to IDF soldiers, to policemen and policewomen, to those who are serving in the different security forces and rescue missions, the doctors, the volunteers. And I want to commend you, the marvelous people of Israel. You make us all feel your deep, profound love to our fighters, to our soldiers, and your heroic acts and merciful acts. My dear friends, we are facing rough days ahead of us, but we will not back down. We will not let go. The sword of David. And I am certain that in the war of swords of iron, we will emerge stronger than ever before. As it said in the Bible, iron and iron together, and man alongside his friend. Together, with the help of God, we will promise the absolute victory. Thank you very much. The Prime Minister will now present the incoming ministers of the new cabinet. According to Clause 42 to the establishment of the government, I would like to inform you that the Ministerial Committee decided on meaningful military acts out of the legal force that was given to it. As of October 7, 2023, at 6 a.m., due to the war that was forced on the state of Israel, triggered by the violent attack of Hamas against Israel, out of this legal force, the government has decided as such, befitting Clause 15, we've decided to expand the government and add Member of Parliament Benny Gantz, Member of Parliament Gidon Sar, Member of Parliament Gadi Eisenkot, Member of Parliament Chili Trooper, Member of Parliament Yifat Zabiton. The government also decided to add Minister Uriel Busso as an additional minister. The government also decided to change the portfolio division, and Uriel Busso will become the Minister of Health. Moshe Arbel will become the Minister of Interior. The government is asking the Parliament's approval to these decisions.